No doubt, man.
You know, it's funny as with all the things we did, we were talking about juvie. Like, I mean, you were a badass motherfucking juvie.
Yeah, I was.
I was doing shit, but I was keeping it on the down low, and I knew too many people to get arrested. I became a felon after 17, and then I got busted at the age of 25. And I did 2 years, and I came out, and I did a halfway house, and I was still doing my shit. And some dude in the prison, he was in there for murdering his wife and the mailman. This motherfucker caught a federal rap because he was a mailman, but he was the prison librarian, and he used to listen to me talk on one of the nights of the week. They did movie night in prison, and the projector would always break. And I worked in the kitchen, so I knew everybody. I worked in the kitchen. I was the stock clerk, so I had connections in there. I was giving the bodybuilders extra meat. I knew where the extra cheese was, you know. And they would say, when the projector would break, they would go, Cuba, go up there and say some shit. The brothers would go, Cuba, get the fuck up there and say some shit. And I would go up there and goof on the brother. You know what I'm saying? Like I would.
You'd do a stand-up.
Because I would sit behind the prison line when they were feeding prisoners and check out everything, and they'd be feeding them the food. And whenever they gave you like shit on shingles, what's that shit? Shit beef on rice?
Yes.
Yeah.
That shit is net. Whenever they gave all that type of shit.
Oh, that's some disgusting watery gravy and the
I would
meat
stand in the back, and as the brothers walked in first, I would go, don't do it! And they knew not to eat the shit. So then we had little prison dudes. There was an Italian dude that would make nachos with a fucking iron, iron. He took the fucking guts out, and he would stick it in the bucket and put a piece of cheese in there at 8 in the morning. And by 6 o'clock, the cheese would melt. And he would cut jalapenos up. And there was a Mexican dude who made tacos. So I would tell him not to eat, and they thought it was kind of funny the way I said it.
Yeah.
So they would throw me up on this table, and I would just crack jokes on the prisoners. It was like 92 prisoners. It was a prison camp. And I didn't know I was doing stand-up, Mike. I had no fucking idea.
That's so awesome.
Stand-up.
And one day, the prison librarian was a nerdy dude, and I wasn't smoking dope in there because they were piss testing you. But him and I would do acid from time to time, and we would stay up all night, and the guards would go, what the fuck is wrong with you two? We'd be talking outside and shit.
So tell me this. Do you ever think about like where you're at now and what you've been through, your experience? You think about your friends that died, you never seen you succeeded?
Oh, my God, you just gave me fucking goosebumps.
I know we lost a lot of people before we got here.
When I started,
and they never saw us do this. They think we would die with them in the streets. But something happened. Now we're here.
When I started comedy in 91, I did good for the first 2 years, and I went back to New York City in 93. And a kid who took me and would drive me to the gigs was a dude that reminds me of you. His name was Darren Rago. This motherfucker was shooting steroids when we were 16.
Fuck.
He would go into clubs. I would tell him, take your shirt off and do push-ups. And he would just start doing push-ups at a disco without his shirt on in 82, 83. He was just crazy. And I left for a while. When I came back 10 years later, he was crazy. I'm like, you know how we get. This dude was working at the airports. One night I bumped into him 2 weeks before he died, and he told me, I go, what are you doing now? He goes, I'm a bodyguard for a Chinese dude. He goes, all I got to do is get him high. He goes, we do ketamine, we do this, we do that, we do this, but we never drink. He goes, but at the end, he goes, we never drink because that'll fuck up your liver. You know, but he used to pick me up. This guy was a gangster. Yeah. He would pick me up and drive me to comedy shows and watch me and encourage me. Like, you can't even fathom this. So
this is Darren.
There's Darren Rago. There's a picture of him on my wall. I have a picture of him on my ancestor shrine. I have an ancestor shrine. All the motherfuckers I lost along the way, from Anthony Balzano to Dominic Special to all the kids that I grew up with. My mother, my father, one of my teachers, the dude who took me out of New York, who took me to Boulder, Colorado, and showed me to get me out of New York when I owed $50,000. He died. I got all their pictures, and I put glasses of water. That's when you do when you're Cuban. And every Monday you light a candle, you fill the glasses, and you thank them for guiding you through this fucking life.
You know, I always